Today, I'm going to discuss the defining moment in my health anxiety recovery. Today, you will be inspired, you will be educated, and you will move quickly towards health anxiety recovery, my friends. Welcome to another important video on my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. To the #1 anxiety support channel on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the bell for all the notifications for my upcoming videos. Friends, I get this question a lot. People asking me, Dennis, what was the moment that you knew that you were healed from health anxiety? I want to make it very clear for you today so that there's no more question marks. I want to dive deep into this incredible epiphany, this moment of clarity that took me from suffering to realization. The realization that I could be more than health anxiety. I could live my life differently. And that very moment came when I realized that health anxiety was never about my health. It was about the need to have control, the fear of uncertainty, and the relentlessness that comes with the habit of worry. This is a more than anxiety moment, so let's dive deep. For a very long time, the very thing that perpetuated my health anxiety was the fact that I thought my physical health was in danger. I was threatened. My life was threatened with every symptom. My life was threatened with every intrusive idea, with every negative feeling or emotion that I experienced. This was never about my health. It shouldn't even be called health anxiety because I was looking at a very deep level. I was looking to maintain control over my health. So it wasn't about the health, it was the need to control. And what was interesting was this 2-year-old within me known as the lower self, subconscious mind, the ego. This 2-year-old, once it finds that everything is within control in the external world, this 2-year-old starts to go inside and says, oh, but this isn't perfect. Your health isn't perfect. Your thinking isn't perfect. Your feelings are not perfect. This body part, your big toe feels weird. And because the 2-year-old brought my attention to my big toe that was numb for a few seconds, I began to look to control the big toe or whatever other symptom that arose. So it was about control. It was about the fear of uncertainty because during my childhood there was so much uncertainty and I continued to fear that level of uncertainty. I needed certainty over what was taking place in my inner world because I was afraid of the unknown that was quickly approaching. There was a relentlessness that came with the habit of worry. Worry was like something I wanted to get rid of, at least a part of me did, but another part of me became best friends with worry. Oh, worry, you're there, right? Okay, well, I kind of want you there, but I kind of don't want you there. I want to live a different life, a free life, but at the same time, I'm afraid of this change. I'm afraid of the unknown because I don't know what's going to take place. Maybe my symptoms are going to get worse. Maybe my relentless thinking, these intrusive ideas, this negative catastrophic way of thinking, maybe that may get worse. Maybe things will get to a point where I can't control them anymore. So as you can see, worry became like a best friend for me. As I began realizing these things, my friends, I came to the point where I realized that I no longer believed in health anxiety. Now, later down the road, when you have exhausted all the knowledge, the books, the podcasts, the videos, the endless amounts of meditations and reframing practices and finding psychics and NLP practitioners and CBT practitioners and this and that. When you have exhausted all the external resources to heal health anxiety, you get to the point where you realize that it can be very simple. I got to a point in my life where I no longer believed in health anxiety. This is a point in the journey that can hit you really hard. It can be so simple but difficult to implement at the beginning until you get to the point of such dissatisfaction and such realization that everything that you've tried to do hasn't worked. I got to the point where I didn't believe in health anxiety. I didn't believe it was true for me anymore. And because I didn't believe in health anxiety, it was kind of like people that believe in ghosts. If two people walk into a room and one believes in ghosts and the other doesn't, one will be threatened, feel like this environment is dangerous, feel very afraid, experience all the sensations and symptoms and stress hormones and chemicals that flood the body in relation to fear. That's one person that believes in ghosts. Then the other person doesn't believe in ghosts. And because that person doesn't believe in ghosts, he has the potential to see the peace within that dark environment, that dark room. So you can see it depends on what you believe, what you emotionally believe in. I stopped believing in health anxiety. Okay? I didn't believe it existed for me. And because that was the case, whenever a symptom arose, I began to look at that symptom as something fleeting, something that would come and go as long as I did not feed it. A more than anxiety moment right there. It's not the label, the health anxiety, hypochondriac, mental health, this, that. It's not the label. The label is no good, but it's not the label. It's the fact that we continue to feed in to the elements of the label that keeps it alive. If you're doing a meditation, for example, and you're doing the meditation to try to stop a symptom or to try to get rid of the anxiety, then you're still focusing on the anxiety. If you're going about your day looking to implement some kind of safety signal, but you're doing it to try to rid yourself of some of the elements of health anxiety, then you're still focused on health anxiety. If you're doing the meditation for the pleasure of meditating, to find mental clarity, and to open yourself up to make peace and make friends with the world of the unknown, then you will benefit from it. So as you can see, this mindset was huge for me, huge. Symptoms were fleeting experiences. And I'm going to dive deep into this. Symptoms, what they really were. When I realized that I was no longer a health anxiety sufferer, I didn't believe in it. Symptoms were distractions from experiencing new experiences. What? Dennis, I thought that symptoms could be catastrophic physical things that could potentially lead you to some kind of disease or illness or a heart attack or this and that, which I believed for years. That was when I believed in health anxiety, right? But later on, symptoms were distractions. I see you're trying to distract me from experiencing new experiences. I'm not going to fight with you. You can stay in the background while I go about this creative act, rather than you be at the forefront as I fight with you to try to be present with the creativeness that I'm embarking on. You see the difference? Symptoms can be in the background rather than at the forefront of what you're doing. This is possible for everybody that starts to detach themselves from health anxiety. Catastrophic thoughts. They were attempts from the 2-year-old to get me to grasp onto a negative idea, to maintain the anxious state that I was in out of fear of change. So as you can see, this catastrophic thought, if we think about it like a tree, right? The tree has many, many branches, and the branches have leaves, right? And so this catastrophic idea presented itself in my mind. And when I was suffering from health anxiety, this idea wanted me to focus in on it, give it awareness, give it energy, act in line with it, right? So that it could branch over to other ideas, so that I could be filled with so much stress, so much fear, so much stagnancy, so much rigidity, so much tension, that the 2-year-old within me, the lower self, says, okay, now we're comfortable. Now we're exactly where we need to be. because the 2-year-old doesn't know the difference between threat and safety. It believes that it's doing exactly what it's been programmed to do. And now you're at a point in your life where you're going, I'm going to start to master the 2-year-old, master the lower self, rather than allow the lower self to master me, right? And so this is very, very important. The old health anxiety habits like checking in on symptoms, doctor visits, etc., were means to seek reassurance because I had so little of it growing up. So we cannot look at these habits from a surface level. Oh, I'm going to the doctor because I'm worried about my health. No, not necessarily. You're going to the doctor, many of you, to meet with an authority figure that wants to give you reassurance over something because in your life, in your childhood, your authority figure never gave you that reassurance. Maybe there was a troubling relationship. Maybe you didn't receive what you wanted to receive. You craved that love, that support, that acceptance, that appreciation. When you leave the doctor's office, why do you think you feel so good? Why do you think you get this moment of relief? Because you receive deep down what you always wanted to, that reassurance, right? So we're not looking at health anxiety from the surface level anymore. We're going much deeper. And the moment that changed everything for me, just to nail this idea down, was realizing that health anxiety was never about my health. It's related to control. It's related to fear of uncertainty. It's related to once and for all making peace with and becoming best friends, not with worry, but with the unknown. When you can become best friends with the unknowns, all of a sudden, control leaves, curiosity comes in. And all of a sudden, when you become curious over this life, it's kind of like you going on a field trip when you were 4, 5, 6. You don't know what's going to happen. It's adventurous, it's fun. You have a sense of play, a playfulness in terms of what's going to take place in the future. But as an adult, you basically need to know what's going to happen 10 minutes later, what's going to happen 2 years later, 5, 10 years later. It's this need to know that keeps you within the clutches of health anxiety. But the most important thing for me is this. I don't want you to try to take every little piece of information from this video, because that would be allowing the 2-year-old, the lower self, to dictate your life. No. I want you to grab one massive moment of clarity from this, because when you do, you are mastering the lower self. You are no longer the master of or coming from the lower self. So in the comments section, my friends, I want you to share with me and all the other peaceful warriors here. Share with us your biggest moment of clarity from this video. And allow that clarity to seep into your life, into your mind, into your brain, your body, so that you can begin to see beyond what the 2-year-old wants you to see in regards to your health anxiety. Let's go beyond health anxiety, and I hope this video helped you. If you want to learn more about the Health Anxiety Recovery Program, the #1 rated health anxiety program available online, click right here and let's get started. I'll see you in the comments section. Love you. Bye-bye, friends.